guys, I'm Chantel with Wildberry Quilting, and today I have a haul video. And this is stuff that I got from our local antique mall. And basically what that means for them is that there are lots of different vendors there. It's all in the same open space, but then they divide things up with like these wall divider things. And some of the vendors are very reasonably priced, like lower than thrift store prices. And then other vendors are a little bit more, what's the right word? Besides just saying expensive. Trying to think of a nice way to phrase it. But yes, basically, some of them are a lot more pricey. I like to shop the ones that are a little bit less. So I got a good selection of different things. Some of them are clothing patterns, and some of them are quilt books. I've been wanting to get some quilting books that actually just have patterns for quilting or ideas for patterns of quilting. And that's what this is. It is just full of different quilting motifs. And I just thought, this is so cool. This is exactly what I was looking for. Look at how intricate that is. And it does not have a price in it, sadly, but I think I got it for like $3 or $4, which I think is pretty good because normally these are, yeah, $20, $30, so $22.95, but you know, we round up here. This is basically the same kind of book. It's easy machine quilting, and it again is just full of these different quilting ideas for quilting motifs, and you can see some of what they've got on here. Hopefully that's not blurry, but they've got a lot of different ideas, and there's some more for you. I thought this would be fun for those times when you're wanting to quilt something and you're just kind of drawing a blank as to how to quilt it. And then we've got freehand machine patterns. So again, same kind of idea, but these would be ones that are less planned out and are just kind of doing them freestyle, which is what I always tend to do, is just freehand it. I am big on not planning a lot, not doing a lot of planning. I just like to get it done. All right, so on to some of the other things I picked up. I came across this dress pattern, and it reminded me a lot of some of the dresses that I've seen for Plains Indians in the museum. And I thought that was really cool. I want to try making some of those, and you know, just a little tribute to my heritage, although we're not from the Plains Indians, but still love paying homage to our Native American ancestry, even if that is from other tribes that aren't specifically ours. Now, this one is very old. And I don't know that I actually plan to sew with all of these. Some of them I certainly will. And I have sewn from 70 and 80-year-old patterns before. That is something I enjoy doing. Although I'm sure a lot of people don't, but I don't know. It's, for me, it's very similar to reading an old book. I just get much more enjoyment out of reading an old book than I do a new one. And I thought this was very pretty as well. I just love this one. Isn't that cute? These little shorts. And I've got all of these bags that they're in. They all came in little Ziploc bags, which is fine by me because that's pretty much how I will store them. But makes them a little bit difficult to show you all of them. I also just love the artwork on these old patterns. I think they are so beautiful, and the newer patterns have nice artwork too, but it's a lot of times with the newer patterns, what you tend to see is that they will have just models on them. This is, I think, the only newer pattern I bought, but they have just models on them. And there's not really any artwork, or if there is artwork, then it is just of the dress without, or the garment, whatever it happens to be, without anyone wearing it. And I don't know, it just hits differently. And I like that older style of artwork on there. And I just love these little nightgowns. Aren't they beautiful? These are the best kind of nightgowns to wear, in my opinion. And yes, I do wear little old nightgowns like that I've made from old vintage patterns. I think they're so much more comfortable than anything you can buy in the store now. And they just have a little bit more elegant look. Or, maybe I just look frumpy in them, but I still like them because they're comfortable. Now, this, I think, might be one of the only Hollywood brand patterns that I now own. But it happens to be a child's pattern. I didn't even know that the Hollywood company made children's patterns, but I guess it makes sense. Sadly, the top of it is torn, so I don't know if it had a star that it was attached to or not. My guess is that if it did, it was probably Shirley Temple. But I don't know. All right. And this is another little nightgown type pattern. It's so darling. I think a lot of these this one's probably from like the 60s, maybe the 50s, I'm not sure. But a lot of times when you see that boxier style, it tends to be the 60s because it was like the waistlines sort of disappeared for a while there. And they went for a much freer, more boxy kind of a look. You can kind of tell, even without the dates, what ages the patterns are just by the styles or the hairstyles. Like this one still has a little piece of fabric wrapped around it. And this one, I don't see a date on this. It might be on the instructions itself if it has it, but this is probably like 1940s would be my guess, because during that time period they had rations on fabric. So you'll see the skirts were very trim and much smaller. This might even be 30s because of this extra bit of gathering that you have around the bust and the poofs in the sleeves, because that uses quite a bit of fabric. So that would probably be my guess, is either 30s or 40s for that one. And this one I definitely think is 40s, but a large portion of the front is missing from this. Now, we can see what that looks like though by looking at the instructions, because the instructions still have a black and white version of what the front looks like. And again, you can see it's a very slim kind of a skirt, very slim A-line skirt. And the hairstyles are very reminiscent of what you would see with 40s hairstyles. At least what I think of when I think of 40s hairstyles. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But I would say probably 40s on that one. And I know we just got done sewing an apron from one of our subscription boxes, but I thought these aprons were just so beautiful. And I really like the ones that are a full apron with the bib and everything. For me, those are much more functional, because whenever I'm spilling something on myself or cooking something, it's always up here that I'm concerned with spilling stuff. I don't really have as much of an issue with spilling stuff lower than that. Although I suppose it would be very helpful to still have those lower portion aprons for getting down on your knees and having to clean things up. That definitely would still be good for that. And I think that's everything I got. So thanks for joining me for this haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that we do mostly quilting here, and this was a lot of dressmaking patterns, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that too. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.